All right, it is live and we are good, I think. Hope everybody's doing well. We're just going to give it about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 minutes, let people get settled. I kind of see this as more of like a lunch and learn, so feel free to grab any drinks or food that you need, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Yesterday, I had some problems with my internet, unfortunately, so we had to cut the Halloween a little bit short, the Halloween video. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to just work on another one, so we can do the same introductory course here with creating video, but we're going to use like a Halloween theme, so that'll be fun. But I hope everybody's doing well, and if you need anything or have any questions throughout this, just let me know, and we'll be happy to try and help out. But I hope everybody's week has been good so far. I know it's been exciting over here, and this is going to be a fun workshop. And again, just going to give it a few minutes to let people get settled, and we'll get started. So if you guys need anything, just go ahead and get it. If you need a drink, go grab it, some coffee. I should have gotten some coffee before this, honestly. And for those of you that are new to this workshop, it is all going to be recorded. So if you have to leave in between, that's completely fine. All you have to do is come back to the same link once it's done, and you'll be able to watch the full thing. We also put them onto our YouTube playlist. So if you want to look at previous ones, you can do that over there. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually just paste that into the chat for you guys. So that way, if you want to check it out, you definitely can. There we go. And I'm also just going to post all the rest of our workshops that we have. We have a nice extended list of different workshops that are happening in the future as well. And if you're kind of, again, if you're new to this, we do the introduction workshops on Wednesdays today. So this one's the introduction. And then on Thursdays, we do our advanced workshops where we kind of look at more specific things with creating video, such as timing and media selection and all that good stuff. So feel free to join us tomorrow for that as well. However, again, we do this every single week. So if you're busy and you want to do it next week, that's completely fine. However, we are going to be doing it. So we'd love to have you. All right. So I say we just kind of dive in and we'll let people come in and ask questions as they like. But let's go ahead and dive into Augie here. And just a little quick background about myself. My name's Chaz, and I'm the project and community manager for Augie Labs. And we are creating Augie, which is a platform to help you create videos easily and quickly and help you just with assisting on creating videos. So, and we'll get into all the details here. So, as you can see right now, I'm on my dashboard and I have all my videos here that I've created and edited. And then right above that, I have this carousel, and this is always definitely check out the support button there. You can check out other videos there too. And then before we get into creating, I do want to kind of share this newer feature, which is the library tab over here. And this is where you can take any type of asset from your computer and put it into Augie and be able to use it in your videos. So that's really awesome. And there's a lot of new ways of sorting it now. So we've added this feature where you can add new folders and be able to categorize all the different types of images and videos that you have that you want to use in your videos. So really cool stuff there. And there's also a good amount of ways to kind of sort through it. So really like this a lot, and we'll get into more of that while we're creating as well. So let's go back here on the dashboard, and we're just going to go ahead and start creating. And before I start doing this, again, I just want to say, like, if you have questions, feel free to put it into the chat, and either myself or Kay will help out. Kay is a part of the team, and I think they're here in the chat with us right now. So just want to put that out there. But let's go ahead, start from scratch right over here. So we're going to click on this, And so this is basically where we're going to be able to put in a prompt and use ChatGPT, which will help us create a script for our video. So let's kind of go through this step by step. The first is going to be the goal of your video, and all these questions or all these answers that you put in for this are going to help with creating that script that you need. So kind of think about it as far as what is your goal for the video, and how can you use this to get it as the best fit for what you want, right? So the goal of the video, I'm going to leave it on increased brand awareness, but we do have a lot of different options. So things like boost social media engagement or create an ad, all that good stuff. We're again just going to stick with increased brand awareness, and then target audience. So we have a lot of different types of ages here. So if you want 18 to 24 and you want that to be kind of revolved around that demographic, you can. I'm going to leave it on all for now. And then we also have location, which at the moment is only the United States. However, this will get expanded. So just keep that in mind. However, we do have the US, so like Northwest, Northeast, all of that. And then a cool part of this is that we have the tone as well. So we're going to be using AI voices after the script is generated. And this is just going to help us with creating that tone for the script that will also kind of translate to the voices as well. So if you wanted something like humorous or intense, we have those. We have a long list of these. So I recommend just kind of checking them out and seeing what works best for what you're trying to make. However, I'm just going to kind of stick to what we had here, which was, where is it? I can't even find it now. There's a neutral. Maybe we should just do a new one because, like, for whatever reason, cannot find the one that I was just doing. So let's just do casual. There we go. All right. So what is the topic, product, good, or service your video is about? So this again is going to be the prompt that we're going to be putting in. So for this one, I did say I wanted it to be Halloween themed. So I'm just going to do that, except I want to do this for a coffee shop, which is what I was trying to do yesterday. So let's do that. I want to do coffee shop ad for Halloween. And then I'm also just going to put the name of the coffee shop, which is going to be Octane. Octane, there we go. So let's give this a try. Let's say, let's go, and then it'll generate the script for us and we can kind of look over it. All right, perfect. So let's take a quick look at this. Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure. Picture this, it's Halloween, the air is crisp, and you need a jolt of energy. Awesome. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I'm not going to read all of it just for the sake of time, but this looks about right. And so the next step is going to be to pick our voice that we want to use for this. And we have a lot of voices, over 50 voices. So I'm not going to go through all these, but I definitely recommend just like going in, trying a lot of them out, and seeing what works. So I think here I did Adam last time.
Allow the world to live as it chooses, and allow yourself to live as you choose.
Awesome. And so now we're going to hit preview here, and this is going to be good for us to check and just make sure that it is correct and that it sounds okay, right? Sometimes it can maybe throw you off a little bit if the voice isn't right. So I like to also recommend that you check this out, just make sure it sounds okay.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure. Picture this. It's Halloween. The air is crisp.
Cool. So I like this. I'm going to keep it in. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. But yeah, so I think that sounds good. So I'm going to continue on. And now we're in the orientation window. So basically, we can switch here by clicking on this little icon, and we'll be able to switch through landscape or vertical. And so if you want to do TikToks or Reels, any of that good stuff, you can do that here. But we're just going to keep it on landscape for now and head over to appearance. All right. And so appearance is really important in my opinion, because this is where Augie is going to be helping us out. So I'd like to keep it on auto suggest images and clips, because again, that's kind of the bulk work of Augie is going to be with auto suggesting different images and videos. So we want that. And over here, we can decide on what media we want to use within our video. So what media we want to be suggested. And right now it has stock clip, and we also have stock image, which are going to be commercially licensed. So you can use that for things like YouTube and any of your videos that you post on socials. without getting in trouble for it. And then we have a few other options over here, as you can see. From now, I'm actually going to put it onto stock clip because my internet's been a little rocky, and I don't want it to take too long to load if it is rocky this time. Hopefully not, though. And then beneath all this, we have our keyword. And so this is going to help Augie even further with finding images that we need, right? So since it's about coffee, kind of wanted to put that in. So I'm just going to put coffee here and hit next. And now we're going to get a nice overview of all the things that we've done while we were trying to create our video. And I'm just going to say that I've listened to my audio and then I'm ready to make my Augie. So let's go ahead, hit creates, and let it go. All right, so now it's converting. And while it's converting, I'll kind of talk a little bit about how it is working, how Augie is helping us, right? So again, so it's taking whatever media it is that you uploaded. So regardless if it's video, audio, or if you did a prompt like I did, it will take whatever is there and transcribe that audio. And then it will use word level timing to connect different types of suggested material for us. So images, videos, based off what is being said. And this works really well for phrases as well. So, you know, not just word by word, you know, you'll say tree and you'll get a tree, but also it does it with the actual phrases that you're talking about. And so it's really cool in that way that it's very accurate as far as what is being said and how it attributes different types of media to it. So let's go ahead, open this up. And the first thing that you're going to notice is our Augie Rough Cut report. And so this is cool because it tells us, as you can see on the top right, how much time is saved compared to tools like Adobe Premiere Pro. So 1.6 hours, which is really good. We'll definitely take that. And then at the bottom here, you can see it says estimated 68% accuracy. And this is about the, about the approximate amount of accuracy it thinks it got as far as matching your words with different types of media. So again, with the auto suggesting. And then we also have the length of our Augie, which is 53 seconds, and the amount of shots. And we'll get into like shots and all that here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and get into the other and see what has happened. All right, so we have our video. And before I go over kind of the basics of all this, I first just want to play this preview and see what Augie has created for us without us having to do anything. It's usually better with the video clips, in my opinion, compared to something like just the images. But again, just because my internet's been weird, it has to be this way for now. But let's go ahead, play this preview, and see what's going on.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling, is crisp, and unique.
All right, looks like the audio is still loading on that part. Not a big deal. However, just by looking over at these shots, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job as far as, finding the coffee and kind of that warmer atmosphere for Halloween, fall, and that kind of stuff, which is great. So as you can see, we have some pumpkins here, some coffee, some more coffee. So, oh, look at that, a coffee, a sign that says coffee. So perfect. And we can add in videos and stuff like that. I'm not too worried about that. So we'll get some video clips in there as well, make it a little bit more interesting. However, so this is kind of the basics of the interface. As you can see, we have our preview window here that I just played it on. And then again, we have our orientation button right here. So if we wanted to make it into a 9:16 aspect ratio, we can do that just by simply clicking here. And then at the bottom, we have our storyboard, right? So I'm scrolling through my storyboard over here. And then we have our different shots. So all these individual clips here, these are our shots. And all the shots are going to be coordinated with the transcript. So we're going to go over here to our transcript tab. And so as you can see, when I click onto the shots, it'll also go through the transcript and the different phrases that are connected with them. So pretty easy to see that, hopefully. And the cool thing about the transcript tab is that this is where we can kind of play around with the length. So if I wanted to make this a little bit larger and get picture in there we go. I just drag this green handlebar, let it go, and there we go. So now a picture is also going to be within this phrase and shot over here. And then we can do things like add a shot. So if I hover onto this phrase, you'll see this plus sign here, and this is where we can add a new one and you can see here by the the static shot over here. I'm just going to get rid of this for now because we don't need it. And this is how you're going to delete, is by closing these handlebars right there. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do that? Which, yes, I am sure. So going back onto this first shot, we can also do certain things like editing our words or editing the transcript itself. So if I wanted to, I can click onto this icon right here and choose different words within this. So if I didn't like, or if I messed up the company name, I could change this by clicking on it and then calling it something like, Octagon, and then hitting the check mark there. However, I don't really want that. So we're just going to say Octane for now. And then I'm going to hit this to get out of that. All right. And so pretty simple. And again, these are all connected to the transcript, to the shots. And this is how we're going to be able to work within these shots and kind of mess with them. So let's start with the first one here. I did say that I wanted some video or some video clips in this. So let's start with the first shot and do that. And the way that we're going to be doing that is by going over here to our Select Media tab. And this is where we can search for different assets and clips. So we have our sources again over here that we can choose from. And as you can see, I have stock clips already enabled. So we can go ahead and find some video. And then again, we can go and take out the auto-generated suggestion for Augie and replace it with something that we already want or know that we want. So I'm just going to put coffee here, search for that, and see what we can get. Awesome. And we're already getting some really great examples of coffee that we can use. So I kind of like this one. I'll put it in and kind of show you guys this clip real quick.
Welcome to...
And again, right, so there's a lot of different types of media that we can use. And another cool thing about this that I like to mention is that if we click, so let's do the second shot. If we click on the second shot, say we want to kind of breeze through this, we're okay with the prompt that's already in the search right here. What we can do is hit this shuffle icon and let Augie pick something for us. So that's pretty cool. And it can also save a lot of time. So if you only have a few shots within your video and you're not sure exactly what you want to put in, sometimes it's fun to just hit shuffle and see what kind of asset that you get. But let's go back over here. I think it may still be loading. Hopefully we're not running into issues again. That'd be a little disappointing, but that's okay. We're still going to go through everything. So right now, those are replacing. That's fine. I'm just going to give it some time. And while it's doing that, I do want to talk about text, because what's video, without some text in it to make it a little bit more engaging, right? Oh, there we go. So now it looks like it's loaded.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip...
Perfect. All right. So there we go. We put in some video, which is great. But again, let's add some more to it by adding some text. So with this selected, I'm going to head over to my text tab over here. And as you can see, we have a couple options. The first is going to be closed captions, right? So pretty classic. I'm just going to hit enable here. And as you can see on the preview screen, we now have some text on our video. And we have a few different options here for the closed captions. So first is going to be the alignment, right? So we can change where that's positioned. And then we have the size of our text. So if we wanted to make this just a little bit bigger, we can simply do that over here. And we can change the color background. So if I wanted to make this a little bit more spooky, make it an orange, we can do that. And then same with the text color, right? So if I wanted to make this a little bit darker, more Halloween themed, there we go. Now it's black. And we can also change the font of the words over here. So if I wanted to do more classic, we can do that. One of my more favorite ones is Verdana, so we can do this as well. And then some really cool stuff. We added this about a month ago, which is going to be some new effects for the closed captions, and I love these. So we have like word by word.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure.
And we have another cool one, bold. So let's see.
Picture this. It's Halloween.
So a lot of cool options there, a lot of cool effects that you can go through within the closed captions. So I recommend just kind of playing around with this. There's some other ones like icon. You got to make sure that the colors are correct for that one. However, just play around. There's a lot of cool things there. So I wanted to show that, the closed captions. But let's go ahead, disable that. And now we're going to add a text box. So again, going back to this first shot, I'm going to go and click add text right here. And as you can see, we now have some text overlaid on our media. And so now we can change this to something else like Octane Coffee. There we go. So now we have this text that says Octane Coffee on top of this video. And we can do the same thing we were doing in the closed captions, which is messing with the text a little bit. So again, if I wanted this to be Verdana, all I have to do is click here. If I wanted to make the font size a little bit larger, we could do something like this where it's 150. There we go. Maybe even a little bit larger than that. Nice. Awesome. So again, and now we can mess with things like the background. So if I wanted this to be more of an orange background like so, we can do that. And then we have some settings here where we can even mess with that background just a little bit more. So if I wanted some more padding on this, I would do something like 50. And then we can also bring in some of the rounded corners. So make this about 30 or so. See how that looks much better.
Welcome to Octane, where
Awesome. So now we're getting this nice little piece of engaging content right when people see it with the text, which I really like. And going further down, we also, again, have some options for the alignment that you can look at. And then my favorite part of all this, again, is going to be the transitions. So right now it's on fade, which you can see.
welcome to
Octane. But we can change this. So if we wanted to make it zoom, all we have to do is do the zoom transition for going in, and then we can preview it right here with this button.
Welcome to Octane.
So awesome. So you can see it zooming, right? And then we can do the same thing for when it's transitioning out. So if I wanted it to zoom on its way out, we can do that as well and preview it over here.
Picture this. It's Halloween.
Cool. So if we play it all together.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure. Picture this.
Nice. And so that looks pretty good. And again, there's a lot of different options here, so I'm not going to go through them all, but I recommend just kind of playing around and seeing what you think looks good. My personal favorite is going to be sliding. So I like the sliding effects.
Octane, where
I think that looks pretty nice. And then right underneath, you can see we also have the duration of all this. So if you wanted it to be a little bit quicker, you can do so by just putting the amount of seconds there. So 2 milliseconds. A little bit too quick, so we're not going to leave it there, but I just wanted to kind of show you can change the duration of that, which is pretty cool. And then one more thing about the text that I want to mention is that you can also keep adding layers of text boxes onto a shot. So if I wanted to, I could say, well, I just want this to be Octane, and then we can add a new text right here and then put coffee. So there we go. So now we have Octane and then coffee right underneath it. And you can do this as many times as you'd like. So if I wanted to add another, I could, and just put is the best coffee in town. There we go. Again, not going to leave these, but I just wanted to kind of show that you can stack them up and do some cool things, especially when you're kind of adding transitions and things like that. It happens to come together pretty cool sometimes. So there we go. And I'm just going to, again, rename this to Octane Coffee, and that looks pretty good to me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start filling out the rest of this video, and I'll kind of show how I do that. So going to transcript real quick, I first just want to make sure that the lengths of these shots are where I want them to be. So something like this where it says it's Halloween. It's a little bit short of a phrase, and it's probably going to be really quick. So let's play it and just see.
It's Halloween.
Right, so a little bit too quick for my liking. So let's make this a little bit longer. Let's drag it out. Since we're going into a different shot, when I dragged it, it's going to ask if we want to do that. And I'm going to say yes and don't ask again. And then we just keep going through it and do the same thing, right? So I could probably drag this out. This one looks pretty good. And we're just quickly going through this, right? Just making sure that it's lined up the way we want it to be. So this one I made a little bit longer. And we can always go through this as we're doing it and kind of mess it and edit it as we go. So it's not a big deal that we're changing this. I just want to kind of get it a little bit more precise. So don't be scared, maybe just too small. So let's do this and then drag that out. There we go. All right, so now we have kind of the right length that we want for our shots, and we can just continue editing on.
It's Halloween. The air is crisp, and you need a jolt of energy. Look no further.
All right, and I'm already thinking, right? So we have this shot, and I like this jolt of energy part. So what I'm going to do is take that out, and right when it goes into this, we're just going to put coffee. We're just going to put something that is coffee related here because I think that that's just a good time to do it. And let's see what we can do. We could probably just do something like somebody drinking coffee, something like that. Oh, this is a good one. There we go. Awesome. So now I'm going through finding media that will work with these shots that I've worked on the timing with, and we can make this even better, right? So let's check out this one.
Believe in brewing more than just coffee. We
Nice. So I like this. However, I kind of like I prefer the video. I don't know about most people, but I personally just enjoy watching videos rather than images going through. So let's pick something else for this. But to kind of spice it up a bit, I'm going to shuffle and see what we can get. So we'll let that do its thing. All right. So now we have this image of coffee, which is actually pretty good, and I would normally leave it. I think Augie did a great job as far as picking it. But to show you some more features of Augie and what we have, what I want to do is go over to my library here and just show you how you would use that. So again, this is going to be content that's from our computer that we've uploaded. So now we can, it's the same thing that you saw on that dashboard, right? So everything that's over there will also be in here and you can use within your videos. And again, we can go through and find the different types of assets that we have or go into different folders here. And if we wanted to switch it out, all we have to do is the same thing that we were doing in the select media tab, which is click on the image and replace it. So if I click here, we'll get this image that we've uploaded onto our video. So just wanted to show that real quick. This one I don't think is related. I think this is actually a pottery company. So I don't think I want that in. So let's go on to a different feature where we can put something else in here. So let's go to the generate tab. So this one's a fun one. This is where we have stable diffusion within Augie. And if you don't know what stable diffusion is, this is basically where we can create artwork using AI. So all we have to do is describe what it is that we're trying to create, and it will hopefully get a pretty precise image for us based off that. So let's put something in here like coffee. The best thing to do is to be as descriptive as you can. So maybe we could do a cup of coffee, and we can say, I think that's good enough. We'll just stick with steaming cup of coffee and generate. So we'll let that generate and see what we can get from it. But for now, I just want to go back and kind of revisit these different shots that I've done. So let's go ahead and see how they look together.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure. Picture this. It's Halloween, the air is crisp, and you need a jolt of energy. It's Halloween, the air is crisp, and you need a jolt of...
All right, so it's still loading. Again, I apologize. My internet's a little wacky right now. We can go back and see it later once it's loaded up. Because usually what I like to do is I like to go and kind of revisit the shots that I've added and make sure that they work together as a whole. However, it's just being a little difficult with me right now because I'm in a basement. So it's hard to get some internet sometimes. But with that being said, we also have our generated image, and this looks really cool. It's actually better than I expected. Sometimes you don't know what to expect, but it's actually been pretty nice recently, and I think that came out okay. I don't know what the V is. That's all right. It's coffee, and I think it looks good. So let's go into this next one. I see it says monster, so maybe we can do a little combination here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this right here, and I'm going to add a new shot, and we're just going to fill this like so. All right. And so what we're going to do is for this first one, I'm going to go and I'm just going to search monster so we can get something a little scary. Maybe we can do monster Halloween, get a search that's related to that. And maybe not something too crazy since this would be considered an ad for a coffee shop, right? So maybe not anything too absurd. Maybe this kid with vampire teeth, maybe we can do that. And then right after that, we can add in a shot of some more coffee. Except for this one, I think I'm going to do barista, kind of switch it up a bit. And that's something I like to recommend as well. We have so much media within Augie, and it can almost get to the point where it's very overwhelming. However, I think that also means it's good to kind of switch your prompts and switch your searches up so you can get some different results. So now, as you can see, we have some different results compared to when we were just looking up coffee, right? So this is always good to keep in mind. So let's see. Let's pick something. I like this one. I'm going to keep that on. And then let's go on to the next one. And it looks like we only have really a few more shots left. Even with explaining this, it doesn't take too long. So far, so good. And Augie has helped us out a lot as far as that goes. So let's see. Let's go back to our transcript. Again, you can see I'm going transcript, select media, and just kind of bouncing between those two. So let's click on this one. Our haunted brews and wicked treats will cast a spell over your taste buds. So awesome. So what we can do is we can, again, do the same thing we just did. So split these up. So that way we can get a little bit of Halloween, a little bit of coffee, and kind of blend those two together, right? So let's do that. Let's get this like so. And now we can go into this one, switch it up how we would like. And maybe for this one, we can do something like a witch. So maybe like Halloween and then do witch there.
Whether you're a monster-loving teen.
Perfect. All right. So maybe we do this where we drag this one that we just did. And then again, doing the same thing, right? So picking coffee. Maybe for this one, we do coffee beans. Let's see what we can get from that. So I'm sure there's plenty of options for coffee. All right, I'm going to give it a quick refresh, see if that helps us. All right, there we go. Looks like it's working now. Awesome. So again, coffee beans. So let's see. I think this first shot works fine. So I'm going to keep that there. And this one also looks pretty good. And I think this is the
Our
image.
haunted brews and
It is awesome. So this is going to be a good example for the next thing I want to talk about within Augie, another feature that we have. So let's go to effects. So with this selected, I'm going to go to our effects tab. And now you can see we have a few different things to work with for effects. So one of the first things is going to be Ken Burns. And so this is going to give our images some movement, our images and video clips some movement as it's playing. And so if I wanted to, as you can see right now, it zooms in when I play it. And this is going to be from our Ken Burns being on zoom in. And so if I switch this to zoom out, you'll see how it will zoom out. And again, this goes for all the different options. So if I wanted it to go right, it'll go right. And same thing if I want to do left, like so. And beneath that, we have our transitions. And right now we only have crossfade, but that's going to change in the future. There's going to be a lot more transitions for you to use. But you can see with the crossfade, it does have that fade, that black fade going in and out. And so if we wanted to get rid of that, all we have to do is click none here. And now you can see there's not that fade anymore. And then we also have resize. So if I click fit, you can see we have some crazy edges that are happening within that image. And the way to fix that is going to just be by clicking on fill. However, everything's kind of automatically filled. And if you do have an issue where it's on fit, you can just apply to all, and it'll apply to all the shots so that you don't have to worry about that, right? So pretty cool stuff. Good to know there. And it looks like still having some issues loading. Let's see if we can pick something. Oh, okay, that one's working. There we go. Okay, awesome.
something bewitching for you.
Perfect. Okay, so there we go. We only have a few more left. What we had here, I believe we just wanted again to do barista. So let's put barista in this, and we'll pick something that works. There we go. I do like this Halloween pumpkin. I don't know how well it fits. Oh, it does. Okay. So this Halloween, ditch the broomstick and fly over to Octane. I love it. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Your destination for a cauldron of flavors. This one has more of a Christmas feeling to it. So maybe we can let's try Halloween coffee. I'm not sure if I've tried it before, but might as well try and see if we can get some results that way. try that again. Let's do Halloween, and actually, let's try fall coffee. So I don't think I've tried fall coffee. I think I tried Halloween coffee at some point, and it didn't really show much. And I think I went to gifts when I did it. Maybe that'll actually give us some cool results for the fall. And again, I apologize for the loading there. Usually isn't like this, but the last week or so has been a little bit crazy for my connection. So trying to figure that out. While that's loading, I'm just going to go ahead, rename this so we don't get confused on what this actually is. So we'll do Octane coffee video. So now we know what this is about. And now it looks like it's kind of loading. It looks like it's trying. Let's do stock clips and see if that works. We're going to try stock photo. Maybe it's a little less intense as far as internet goes. All right, let's give it another refresh. Thankfully, this didn't happen right in the beginning of this workshop. I'm happy it wasn't the full time. We still got a lot done, which I'm happy about. Let's click on this one. There we go. Looks like it's working, and we got a nice shot there. This one looks pretty good. It looks like it actually fits kind of that fall theme, which I like. So let's go on to this and see what it says. It doesn't look too related. Don't be scared. Come get your caffeine fix at Octane. Awesome. So that looks good, but I do want this one to switch up to be a video. So let's see if we can get into stock clips here. So again, I'm just going to put barista, see if we can get some more results, which we did. Awesome. And I kind of like this one where they're actually at a shop and it looks pretty nice. All right, in this last shot, what we're going to do is actually get away from select media for just a moment, and we're going to go back to text. And I'm just going to show you guys a quick little tip here. So what I'm going to do is add text to this, like so. And I'm just going to put, again, Octane coffee. Nice. And we're just going to ignore what's happening in the background. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to go to our background over here, go to color, and I'm just going to make sure that it is selected as black. And then for the padding, what I want to do is make this extra large so it fills up the whole shot. So I'm just going to put 250, maybe a little bit larger. It looks like it didn't fill the full thing. So maybe we'll do 600 just to play it safe. There we go. So now we have this nice black background here. And what we can do is mess around with this text, right? So if I wanted it to be more Halloween themed, we can go to the color and make it more orange. And then what we can do now is make this font size a lot bigger. So maybe like 200. And there we go. So now we have Octane Coffee as kind of that last shot for people to see. And if we wanted to, we could make it a little bit more interesting by adding another text below it. Oh, I forgot, with the background, you can't do that with the padding. So what we could do to get around that, right? If we wanted to not do this little trick, all we have to do is get rid of the padding or the background color. So we'll do that. And then we can simply just look for a black background. However, I like to have that little tip in my back pocket, which is to use the padding. But if you wanted to do more words on top of it, I would just recommend finding a picture of the color that you want and then using the background for now. So let's find a Bing. I think Bing would probably have a background that we could use for that. All right, taking too long. Not a big deal. What we're going to do is I'm going to go back. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Looks like I got it just in time. Nice.
Community of
And looks like the effects are moving a little bit, so I'm just going to put none here. And for the transitions, I don't want anything.
join our growing.
There we go. Looks good. And now we can add another text and just say something like, come by today. Weird. Still not showing up. I don't know if that's my internet or what, but that's okay. Let's go ahead, continue on. We have Octane Coffee. I'm happy with that. And so now we can do other things like add music. So I'm going to go to my music tab here. Unfortunately, with our music, we don't have anything Halloween this season. Next season, I think it'll be a little bit different. But we do have a lot of nice music here. And I think that Katina had sent me something yesterday with Halloween music that I'm excited to check out. Not sure if you're in here right now, but um, thank you for sending that. I can't wait to listen to it. EMD, how's it going? Is it possible to do a color background with transparency? Yeah, so we could do that if we wanted to, right? So if we wanted to go to, let's go ahead and go to this one right here. So what we could do is go back to our text tab, click on the one that we wanted to change with the transparent background, and all we need to do is click where color is, and then we can drag this down to make it a little bit more transparent. So when we click here, you can see background is more transparent. And I think maybe that's what I did wrong in this last one. Or not. Okay, so I thought, oh wait, there we go. Right, so we could do that with this and just move that transparency down a little bit, and that way we have that image in the background, which is also pretty cool in my opinion. Good question. Thank you for asking that. Hopefully that's what you meant. Let me know if that actually answered your question there. But let's go back to music real quick. And again, we don't have the Halloween music. And I see Katina in the chat. What's up? How's it going? And hopefully we can get Katina's music in here at some point, so that way we can have some spooky tunes for everybody. But for now, what we can do is just put something a little bit more chill, maybe something that has kind of some fall feeling. This one says Morning Garden. Let's try it out. Wow, that is very ambient. I don't know if that would work too well. I still haven't gone through all of these. Oh, audio coffee. Let's try it. Perfect. You don't even need to listen to all that because it has audio coffee in it, and I like that. So we're going to put that in, and then we're going to move this volume by taking this fader right here and moving it down a little bit. And this is where we can control all the levels of volume. So if I wanted to, I can have my start time start a little bit later. So you can see it says start time is going to be 8 seconds when I drag that handlebar. Same thing with the end time handlebar over here. And then we can also do things like fade in and fade out with these controls over here and over here. So this is where we can control the volume. And I'd like to keep it a little bit lower than the voices themselves, just because we don't want really loud music and not be able to hear what's being said. So I like to keep this at around a little bit below 15% usually, but it depends on the song. So let's try this.
Welcome to Octane, and you need a jolt of energy. Look no further than our haunted haven. At Octane, we believe in brewing more than just coffee.
Awesome. So that sounds pretty good. It's not too loud, and I think that it fits pretty well with the coffee video. So we're going to keep that in. And again, this is how you're going to be adding all the music you'd like. And these are all royalty free, so you don't have to worry about copy striking in with those. So that looks good. But let's go ahead, go back to select media so we can look at what we have in our video and what else we can do. And so one of the things that I'm noticing right here is that it looks a little bit too bright for this background. We could go back to our text and we could change the transparency here of the background. So if we wanted to make it a little bit clearer, all we have to do is move this up, and there we go. It's a little bit brighter for us, and you can see the text. Awesome. I'm glad that I was able to answer that for you. And so what we can also do, right? So if we didn't want this background color and we just want to turn it off, and we look at this, right? It's harder to see Octane because it's a little bit too bright with that background. What we can do is go over to our filters, and we can choose something like low brightness. In this way, we can get it a little bit easier to see for Octane Coffee. But there are also a lot of different filters in here that we can mess with, right? So if we wanted some lower saturation, we can do that. Or if we wanted black and white, we could do that as well. I'm going to leave it on this low brightness for now. However, thinking of black and white, it could be really cool to do that for something like this, where it's meant for Halloween and we want more of that spookiness. I don't know why black and white is so spooky, but it is. So there we go. So we can make this just a little bit more interesting by doing something like that, right? It's those little things that we can do to kind of make it that more spooky or more in that direction that we're trying to get it as an ad. So that looks pretty cool.
Jolt of energy.
Awesome. So there we go. A little bit of a tip there. So now what I'm going to do, as you can see, rename my video. Great. and it looks like everything is almost done. I'm just going to kind of go through this one more time and see what else can be done if we want to change anything. I know it's not going to be completely perfect, but that's all right. I just wanted to make sure we could share all the different features and that everything looks okay. So I'm just going to play this from the beginning and kind of watch maybe 20 seconds or so and see how it is.
Welcome to Octane, where every sip is a thrilling adventure. Picture this. It's Halloween, the air is crisp, and you need a jolt of energy. Look no further than our haunted haven. At Octane, we believe in brewing more than just coffee. We conjure creations that awaken your senses. Whether you're a monster-loving teen, a zombie-chasing soccer
Nice. So looking back on this, I think that it could be a little bit spookier as a video for Halloween, right? So something like this where it says we conjure creations in that aspect, like doing witches brew coffee, that sort of stuff. I think it could get a little bit more spooky in that sense, right? So I'd probably, if I wanted to, I'd probably replace something like this with, you know, an actual like person in a costume wearing a witch's outfit or something like that. However, for time's sake, I don't want to go through everything. I just wanted to make sure that all these features were shown. However, tomorrow we're going to be doing the advanced workshop where we will be going into timing and media selection. And what I'll do is I'll probably just do another Halloween version of that tomorrow, so that way we can kind of dive into more of those specifics, right? So with this being said, I'm going to go back to the dashboard, but before I do that, I'm just going to hit download video. And this will start building out your download, and it will automatically download it into your chosen folder. And you can also go back to the dashboard and see it exporting, and you can download it over here as well. So whenever that's done, it will automatically do its thing. But for now, what I want to do is actually click on this duplicate button right here. And this is going to duplicate this Augie for us, so that way we can work on it and not mess up this other video. So let's go into this, and I just real quick want to show you guys what I'd be doing if I wanted to switch this orientation to a vertical orientation. So if I click here, now we have this in a 9:16 aspect ratio. So things like TikTok, Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all that good stuff. And so now what we can do is take the video we just made and kind of revolve it for that. So we could go to text here and make sure that this text size is just a little bit smaller, fits. So if I wanted to, just make this something like 75. And there we go, looks a little bit better. And as you can see, this one's a little bit out of alignment, so we kind of want to change the things that aren't fitting in the middle of the screen. But as you can also see, just from looking at our storyboard, it looks like a lot of things are pretty lined up. And so that's kind of cool that for the most part, it actually looks okay, even when you switch it over to the vertical view. And it just takes minimal changes, right? So if I want to change this last shot again, all I have to do is click on this right here, change that font size again to 75, and that looks good to me. And the ones that we need to change are pretty obvious to see, right? So the first one, probably need to change this, but not a big deal. We just find something that is either vertical or will fit the shot. So we could do something like this shot right here. And that's another benefit of Augie, is that you also get those vertical clips and you don't have to go out and search for them for yourself, right? So it makes it a lot easier to find. So there we go. Now we're getting these shots all nice and looking good. And the other ones look pretty good in my opinion. Maybe something like this that can get changed. So we can click here and change it up. But overall, doesn't look bad. So there we go. So now we have our 9:16 version, and that is ready to get downloaded, and we can head back to the dashboard over here. And then Katina said, please clarify, in this version, it is either or, you can't mix horizontal and vertical. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, yeah, so you can't mix those two together as one video, if that makes sense. But what I did is just duplicated it, and then I made this one vertical, so that way if I'm editing it and I'm changing different images and videos, I don't mess up the landscape version. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So that way, if I still need to do some changes to the landscape one, I'm just not going to mess up my 9:16 version. So going back to the dashboard, I do want to show you guys real quick what happens when you upload a video and how to work with it. So I have a quick example in here, and you'll notice right away when you upload video, you'll get this placement tab over here at the bottom. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see me there in the screen. And so we have a few different options in this placement tab. So as you can see, I'm selected in the full screen. And so if I hit apply to all, you'll notice that all the shots, once they load, it'll just be me and those shots talking. And so it works the same way as if you were making a prompt or if you're uploading audio. Works the same way. It's going to take those phrases, cut them in the ways that make sense as far as attributing different images and things like that. So if I go to my transcript, you can see same thing, right? It's just going to go through and have the video chopped up with the phrases. So it'll still look normal. But if we go back to our placement tab, we can also do things like this. So if I select this second shot, I can switch it to media. So now we can use things within the select media tab and be able to go back and forth. So it's really cool in that way to kind of make your videos a little bit more engaging and being able to, show people different types of media while you're talking and also go back and forth and kind of gives it that personable feeling, which I really like. Kind of gives it that more documentary type of thing. So I'm going to go back to the placement and show you guys the rest of the options that we have. So if you wanted to, we can have picture in picture, and this is where we have the media in a picture in picture mode. We can also swap between that, so I can go inverse, and we can have myself in the corner there. We can inverse it again, and we can also move these around, right? So if we wanted our image to be at the bottom left, we can do that. If we want it centered, we can do it like this. So pretty cool stuff. And for now, I'm actually just going to leave it on this, and we'll go to the bottom where we have a split screen. So again, same thing, except it's split screen, and we can go and swap between these two. So if we want on left, we can do that. And for these, we can also apply to all. So if we wanted all our shots to be split screen, we can do it that way. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so, and I just kind of do this by kind of playing it by ear with like every other shot, maybe switching it from me talking into something else, a different type of media. But I did want to show that real quick. Really simple to do. Again, it's the same thing that you're doing with a regular video or a regular type of audio or AI voice, except you just have video. And it makes it a little bit cooler because you can have more things to work with. But let's go back here. And there's one more thing that I want to kind of show you guys before we end this, because we have about 5 minutes left. Before I get into this, if you do have questions, put them into the chat, and that way we can answer some questions here towards the end if we need to. But let's go to create real quick, and I just want to show you guys the cloned voice feature. So this is a little bit of a newer feature, and you'll be able to record your voice and then clone that voice so that you can use it on all your videos. So let's do this. Let's go into I have a script. I'm going to say let's go. And I'm just going to put a script that I already have here and use this as an example once this is loaded. There we go. All right, and so I have this script, and what I can do to start cloning my voice is going to this record, clicking on record, and over here you can see we have improve my voice clone. And it says improve my voice clone just because I've already recorded a voice clone. However, this will be in the same spot and it'll say start cloning your voice. So it's going to be in the same spot. Just make sure you check that on. And then once you record and create the video, you can come back to create another video. And once you go there, you'll be able to select your cloned voice. And it will use your cloned voice as the voice for your narration. And so if I hit preview, you'll hear me. I agree.
Whoso
really
loves
like
believes
split
the
screen.
impossible.
I interrupted myself, but I really like the split screen as well. That and doing the inversed version of the picture-in-picture, I think, is my favorite. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Well, thankfully, my internet is having issues towards the end. That's always preferred. I mean, it's not none of it's preferred, but if it's going to at the end, it's fine. But let's try this again.
We are an open studio playground for imaginative adults.
Cool. So as you can see, it has cloned my voice. It sounds pretty accurate. I've only done maybe 2 improvements on it, so you can go in, record it again, so that way you can try to nail down the cloned voice. So that's what that was right here. It says improve my cloned voice. And I think I only did this maybe like once or twice, so it's not the greatest, but it can get really accurate, which is awesome. So just something to know there, and I think that's really cool. So I'm going to cancel out of this. I believe that we've gone over everything here as far as features go. But again, if there are some questions that you guys have, feel free to ask within the next couple minutes. And while we do that, I am also going to post some links here for you guys. The first one's going to be for our YouTube playlist. So we have all of our different workshops within here. So if you want to go back and rewatch some of the ones that I've already done, you can do that in the YouTube playlist that I've posted. The next thing that I want to give you guys is our Discord server. Feel free to join our Discord and hang out and post your videos, ask questions. We have a lot of different feedback from different members in this Discord, and we love it. So feel free to come in and give us your opinion on Augie or what you want to see within Augie, because we'd love to see it. And then the last thing that I want to share with you guys is going to be all our different workshops that we have in the future. So here's the link for that for Crowdcast. We again do our workshops, our advanced workshops on Thursdays at 12:30, so same time. And we're going to be doing that tomorrow and next week. So if you guys would like to come to that and kind of learn more about timing and the media selection within Augie to make your videos a lot more professional, I highly recommend that you come join me. But yep, I don't think we have any questions, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for joining. I'm glad that my internet didn't completely die out on me this time. Very happy about that. And if you guys need anything, please join the Discord, ask questions. We'd love to hear it. But again, hope you guys have a great week, and thank you for joining this workshop, and hopefully see you tomorrow, and have a great rest of your week, and have a good weekend. Bye. Thank you guys.